My name is Camille Carter. I'm 33 years old. And the moment I realized my family didn't see me as a person was the moment they tried to turn me into a permanent solution. Not a daughter, not a sister, a solution. It happened on a Sunday afternoon that smelled like barbecue smoke and fake smiles. We were in my parents' backyard, same place we'd had every birthday, every graduation, every "we're so proud of you" moment that always came with invisible strings attached. My sister Marissa stood up, hand on her stomach, glowing like she was announcing something sacred. "I'm pregnant again." Everybody clapped. My mom gasped like she'd just witnessed a miracle. My dad smiled, that tight, proud smile he used when he thought the family image was holding up just fine. 3 kids already, 4th on the way. And then they all looked at me. Not excited, not curious, just expectant. Like the next line in the script belonged to me. My mom reached for her drink, took a sip, then said in that soft voice she used when she was about to assign responsibility without calling it that, "Well, Camille will help, of course." Not can, not will you, just will. Like it was already signed, sealed, and stamped. I let that sit in the air for a second. Then I said the one thing I had never said out loud before. Why me? Silence dropped like a plate hitting the floor. Marissa blinked. My dad leaned back slowly. My mom tilted her head like I had just spoken a foreign language. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't get emotional. I have a job. I have a life. Why is this automatically my responsibility? Marissa laughed. Not the cute sister laugh, the sharp one. The one that cuts. "You're single," she said. "You've got time. Think of it as practice." Practice. Like my whole life was just a warm-up for hers. Something in me snapped. But not loud, not messy. Clean, quiet, final. I picked up my bag, grabbed the dish I brought, and said, "No." Just that. No explanation, no apology. And I walked out. Behind me, I heard my mom call my name. My dad didn't say anything, but I could feel his disappointment like pressure on my back. And Marissa? She laughed again. "Don't worry," she said. "She'll come around." That's the thing about people who are used to your yes. They think your no is temporary. I thought that was it. One boundary, one clear line, one moment where I finally chose myself. I really believed that. Until the next morning. My phone rang at 8:12 a.m. Unknown number. I almost ignored it. I wish I had. "Hello? Good morning. Is this Camille Carter?" "Yes." "This is Officer Daniels from Lakeview Police Department." Everything in my body went still. "Ma'am, we have 3 minors at the Lakeview Community Center. They were dropped off with a note stating you are responsible for them today." I didn't even breathe. "I'm sorry, what?" "They have your name, your phone number, and instructions that you agreed to supervise them today." That's when it hit me. They didn't just ignore my no, they erased it. The drive there was a blur. I don't remember traffic lights. I don't remember turns. Just one thought looping over and over. They actually did this. When I pulled into the parking lot, I saw 2 police cars and 3 little backpacks sitting on a bench. My chest tightened. Harper was sitting straight, trying to be strong. Miles was crying quietly. And little Chloe, she was asleep, curled up against a staff member who looked like she hadn't signed up for any of this. I walked up slowly. "Hey, baby." Harper looked up. Relief hit her face first, then confusion. "Are you mad?" That question broke something in me. I knelt down in front of them. "No," I said softly. "Not at you. Never at you." The officer showed me the note. It was my sister's handwriting, bright, cheerful, casual. Camille agreed to watch the kids. Family helps family. I stared at it, not shocked anymore, just done. I pulled out my phone, opened the messages from the night before, showed him. I said no. Clear, direct, no confusion. The officer's expression changed immediately. This wasn't a misunderstanding anymore. This was something else, something intentional. 40 minutes later, my sister showed up, crying, holding her stomach, playing the role perfectly. "Camille, how could you do this?" she said, loud enough for everyone to hear. My brother-in-law, Trevor, walked in behind her like he owned the place. "There she is, the aunt of the year." I didn't look at them. I looked at the officer. "I want everything documented." That's when things shifted, because for the first time, I wasn't playing along. My dad arrived next, calm, controlled, strategic. He shook the officer's hand. "This is just a family situation. My daughter tends to overreact." There it was, the narrative, the one they always used. Camille is emotional, Camille is difficult, Camille will eventually fold. Except this time, I didn't. I stood there in front of everyone and said something I had never said in my entire life. I am not responsible for children I did not agree to take care of.
Out loud, in public, with witnesses. My mom looked at me like I had betrayed her. My sister looked like she wanted to scream. Trevor just smirked. "You think this makes you look strong," he said quietly. I smiled. "Yeah," I said, "I do." And that should have been the end of it. It should have scared them enough to stop, to rethink, to respect the boundary. But people who benefit from your silence don't stop when you speak. They escalate. Because that night, I found out something that changed everything. The community center wasn't the first place they used my name. It was just the first place that called the police. By midnight, I was sitting at my kitchen table, laptop open, documents spread out, and the truth slowly unfolding in front of me. School forms, medical forms, emergency contacts, payment authorizations. My name, my signature, my responsibility. Except none of it was mine. And that's when I realized this wasn't about one day. This wasn't about babysitting. This was a plan, a full-blown, calculated long-term plan to turn me into their backup parent without my consent. And the scariest part? They thought I would never fight back. But they were wrong. I thought the lawyer's letter would scare them straight. I really did. Because normal people, people who still have some line they won't cross, back up when things get official, when there's paper, signatures, consequences, when someone finally says, "No, not this time." But my family wasn't normal. They didn't see boundaries as lines, they saw them as challenges. 2 days of silence should have felt like peace. Instead, it felt like the kind of quiet that comes right before something breaks. And on Wednesday, it did. I was at work, halfway through reviewing emergency staffing reports, when the front desk called. Her voice was careful, too careful. "Camille, there's a situation in the lobby." That word, situation. It's what people say when they don't want to say something is already out of control. "There's a man here," she continued, "with 3 kids, and he says they're yours." For a second, I didn't move, didn't breathe, didn't even blink. Because when chaos shows up in a place that's supposed to be controlled, clean, structured, professional, it doesn't feel loud at first. It feels unreal, like someone dropped the wrong life into yours. I walked to the lobby slowly, not rushing, not panicking, because panic is what they expected from me. Panic meant I'd fix it, and I was done fixing things I didn't break. The moment I stepped into the lobby, I saw them. Harper standing too straight, trying to act older than she was. Miles coughing into his sleeve. Chloe dragging that same little stuffed rabbit across the floor like it was the only stable thing in her world. And Trevor, standing there like he owned the place, phone already in his hand, waiting, performing. "There she is," he said loud enough for half the lobby to hear. Aunt Camille finally decided to show up. A couple of nurses turned. A parent holding a sick child looked over. This wasn't just a drop-off. This was a show. I kept my voice low. I didn't agree to watch these children. Trevor grinned, that smug, cheap grin. "Say that again," he said, lifting his phone, louder this time. And just like that, I understood the whole plan. He wasn't trying to get help. He was trying to get content. He wanted me to look cold, heartless, the aunt who said no. Because online, context doesn't matter. Only clips do. I turned to security instead of him. "Call your supervisor," I said calmly, "and do not let him leave those kids here." That's when his smile flickered. Just a little. Because I didn't play my role. I didn't yell, didn't argue, didn't defend myself. I went procedural. And people like Trevor, they hate procedure. Because procedure doesn't bend. "Relax," he tried to laugh it off. "It's just for a few hours. Marissa's not feeling good. You know how pregnancy is." I looked at him. Really looked. At the man who thought this was normal. At the man who thought weaponizing children was strategy. "No," I said. "I know how responsibility works." My supervisor arrived 2 minutes later. She didn't ask me what was happening. She didn't need to. She read the room. 3 kids, 1 man, 1 phone recording, 1 employee standing very still. "Sir, this is a hospital, not a drop-off center. You need to leave with your children." Trevor scoffed. "Are you serious right now?" "Very." He lowered his phone slightly, confidence cracking. "My wife is pregnant." "Then your children need proper care. That responsibility belongs to you." And just like that, the script he wrote in his head collapsed. Security stepped closer. Not aggressive, just present. Enough to make it real. Trevor looked at me one last time. "You're really doing this?" he muttered. I met his eyes. "No," I said quietly. "I'm finally not doing what you expect." He left. Not gracefully, not quietly, but he left with the kids. And Harper looked back. Not angry, not even upset, just confused. That look stayed with me longer than anything Trevor said, because kids always know something is off, even if they don't have the words for it yet. That should have been the end of it. For normal families, it would have been. But by that night, I found out something worse. This wasn't new. They hadn't just tried to dump the kids on me once. They had been building a whole system around me, without me. School forms listing me as primary pickup, daycare forms listing me as payment contact, medical records marking me as authorized caregiver. My name, my number, my address. Forged, repeated, embedded. Like I had signed up for a life I never agreed to live. I sat at my kitchen table staring at those documents, feeling something shift inside me. Not anger, not hurt. clarity. Cold, clean, final. This wasn't about helping anymore. This wasn't about family.
This was about control. And they had gotten comfortable controlling me because I never made it expensive for them to try. Until now. When I called my lawyer, she didn't sound surprised. She sounded ready. Good, she said after I explained everything. Now we have a pattern. The next letter we sent wasn't polite. It was precise. No contact except written, no use of my name anywhere, no assumptions, no access. And this time it included consequences, real ones, legal ones, the kind you can't talk your way out of at a cookout. They didn't like that, not even a little. My phone started lighting up again. Blocked numbers, voicemails, guilt wrapped in concern, anger dressed up as disappointment. You've changed. You're overreacting. This isn't how family treats each other. Funny how family only had rules when I stopped following them. Trevor posted his edited video. Of course he did. 30 seconds, no context, no beginning. Just me saying, "These are not my children." Caption, "This is what happens when family forgets family." Comments flooded. Cold, selfish, ungrateful. People who had never met me deciding who I was based on half a story. I watched it for exactly 1 minute. Then I closed the app. Because I wasn't going to fight lies with louder emotion. I was going to end them with facts. And 3 days later, I got my chance. My mother threw a baby sprinkle. Of course she did. Big decorations, soft colors, church crowd, the whole "it takes a village" aesthetic. Only this time, the village had a villain. Me. I wasn't invited, didn't need to be, because when people start telling your story wrong in public, you don't stay home. You show up. I stood in the back of that hall for a full minute before anyone noticed me, watching, listening, hearing my life being rewritten in real time. She abandoned them. She refused to help. Poor Marissa. That word again. Poor. Like responsibility was something that just happened to her. Like I was the one who caused it. When I stepped forward, the room shifted. Conversations slowed. Smiles froze. My mother saw me first, and for the first time in my life, she looked nervous. "Camille," she whispered, "don't do this." I met her eyes. "I'm not here to ruin anything," I said calmly. "I'm here to correct it." Trevor stepped in front of me. "You need to leave." I didn't even look at him. "Pastor," I said, turning instead, "before people donate based on misinformation, I'd like 2 minutes." The room went silent. Because deep down, people don't actually want lies. They just don't question them until someone forces them to. The pastor hesitated, then handed me the mic. And just like that, the story changed hands. And that's where everything started to fall apart. Not because I yelled, not because I fought, but because I stopped protecting their version of the truth and finally told mine. I didn't raise my voice. That's what people always expect in moments like that. They expect anger, drama, a scene they can label and dismiss. But calm? Calm makes people listen. "My name is Camille Carter," I said into the mic, steady, clear. "And I love my nieces and nephew." You could feel the room soften for a second. That word, love, always buys people a moment. I've shown up for birthdays, school runs, late-night fevers, grocery bills, summer camps, and everything in between, I continued. Not because I had to, but because I wanted to.
I let that sit. Let them nod. Let them build the version of me they were used to. Then I said, what I did not do is agree to raise someone else's children. Silence. Sharp. Immediate. Marissa started crying right on cue. Trevor muttered, "She's lying," like that would be enough. It wasn't. Because this time, I came prepared. I pulled out my phone. "Let's keep this simple," I said. "We don't need opinions, we'll just use facts." The projector flickered on behind me. First slide. A screenshot of the text from the cookout. My mother telling me I'd handled the kids. My reply, "That's not my responsibility." No spin. No tone. Just words. A murmur moved through the room. Second slide. The police report from the community center. Names blurred, details clear enough. 3 children left, note claiming I agreed. I hadn't. Gasps this time. Not loud, but real. Third slide. School forms. Daycare forms. My name. Forged. Repeated. Listed as primary. Not backup. Not emergency. Primary. That word hit hard, because everyone in that room knew what it meant. That wasn't helping, that was replacing. Trevor shifted. Marissa stopped crying for a second. Even my father looked up. Fourth slide. The hospital incident. Short summary, clear wording. Attempted drop-off, recording staff, security involvement. I didn't need to say anything extra. The paper said enough. Then I stepped away from the screen, back into the center of the room. "This isn't about one bad day," I said quietly. "This is about a pattern." No one interrupted, because now they couldn't. They didn't ask me for help. They assigned me a role, and then forged proof that I accepted it. A woman near the front whispered, "Oh my God." Another said, "That's not okay." That's when the shift happened. You could feel it. Sympathy, changing direction. Marissa tried to grab it back. "You're twisting things," she cried. "You always helped." I looked at her. Not angry, not cruel, just done. Helping is something you ask for, not something you trap someone into. Trevor stepped forward again, louder now. "This is family business." And that's when a man in the back said what everyone else was thinking. "Then why are you collecting public money for it?" The room turned. Fast. Because that question cut deeper than anything I said. The pastor walked up slowly, placed his hand on the donation box. "Until this is clarified, we won't be accepting funds today," he said, firm. That was it. That was the moment. The whole setup collapsed. Marissa stood up so fast her chair scraped the floor. "You hope you're happy," she shouted through tears. "You humiliated a pregnant woman." And for a second, just 1 second, I felt that old instinct, the one that says, fix it, apologize, make it easier. But then I looked around, at the room, at the truth finally sitting out in the open, and I let it go. "No," I said softly. "I stopped letting you use your pregnancy as a shield." That landed. Hard. My mother covered her mouth. My father didn't say a word. For the first time in my life, he didn't try to control the room. Because he couldn't. Not anymore. I handed the mic back, and I walked out. No yelling, no chasing, no looking back. But the real story didn't end there. Because truth doesn't just clear your name, it creates consequences. The daycare removed my name the next day. The school followed. The clinic, too. Every system they tried to plug me into, disconnected. Clean. Final. Trevor didn't last long after that. Turns out, employers don't love viral videos of their staff trying to abandon kids in a hospital lobby or using company time to forge documents. He got suspended first, then let go. And just like that, the man who said I had too much freedom had nothing to do but sit at home and finally take care of his own kids. Funny how that works. Marissa's online world cracked next. People started asking questions, real ones, the kind you can't filter or delete fast enough. Sponsorships disappeared, comments turned off. That soft, curated image of struggling but supported mom, gone. Because people don't mind struggle, they hate manipulation. My parents, they didn't explode, they faded. My mother lost her role at church events. My father stepped down from community positions, not because anyone forced them, but because people started seeing them differently. And once people see, they don't unsee. The hardest part wasn't any of that. It was watching what happened next. They had to do it themselves. School runs, doctor visits, sick days, bills, schedules. 4 kids. No backup plan. No Camille. My mother called one day, exhausted, frustrated. "They're overwhelmed," she said. "You know how hard this is." I closed my eyes, took a slow breath. "You knew it was hard. That's why you kept trying to give it to me." Silence. Long. Heavy. Then she whispered, "We didn't think it would be this much." And there it was. The truth. Not apology. Understanding. Too late, but real. A month later, we sat in mediation. No yelling, no drama, just paper, terms, boundaries, signed. No contact unless written, no using my name, no dropping kids, no lies. Trevor had to pay damages. They all had to take parenting courses. And when it was over, Marissa looked at me and said, "You changed." I shook my head. "No," I said. "I stopped being easy to use." A few weeks later, I got a job offer. New city, better role, clean start. 6 months ago, I would have hesitated because family needed me. That night, I packed. Raleigh felt quiet. At first, it was strange, waking up with no missed calls, no emergencies, no guilt waiting in my notifications, just space, time, peace. And slowly, I realized something else. Peace doesn't feel exciting when you're used to chaos. It feels empty. Until one day, it feels like freedom. I still love those kids. That never changed. But love looks different now. It has boundaries, structure, distance. I send gifts, support from afar, but I don't show up to fix what I didn't break. Because love without boundaries is just sacrifice with a pretty name. Months later, my mother called again. Different this time. Quieter. "I didn't know how much you were carrying," she said. I looked around my apartment, at a life that finally belonged to me. "You did," I said gently. "You just thought I'd keep carrying it." She cried, asked me to come back, help again, just a little. I said no, then offered something real. Resources, planning help, not myself, because helping isn't the same as surrendering. That night, I sat on my balcony while rain fell soft against the city. No noise, no demands, no one waiting for me to fix their life. And for the first time, that silence didn't feel lonely. It felt earned. Because the hardest lesson wasn't saying no. It was surviving what came after. The anger, the guilt, the stories they told about me. the way they tried to make me the villain for refusing to be their solution. But here's the truth nobody tells you. When you stop being useful to people who are using you, you don't lose family. You lose access to dysfunction. And sometimes, that's the only way to finally find yourself. So if you've ever been the backup plan, the one everyone calls when things fall apart, the one expected to show up, fix it, and never ask for anything back, listen carefully. You are not selfish for choosing yourself. You are not wrong for setting limits. And you are not responsible for carrying lives that were never yours to hold. That night, I turned my phone off, listened to the rain, and smiled, because for the first time in my life, no one was waiting for me to rescue them. And for the first time, I understood something I wish I had learned years ago. Silence isn't always emptiness. Sometimes it's freedom.